Hey friends, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. It is Gina. I am here to go over a very cool product, the Evenflo 360 Revolve Slim. So I had a video before about the 360 Revolve Extend, and now this is the 360 Revolve Slim. So what is the biggest difference? Well, if you can't tell by the name Slim, it's that it is a narrower car seat. So we are talking about 16.7 inches wide. I feel like the other seat is 19 or 19 and a half, so it's significantly narrower. And why this would be appealing is, let's say you want to purchase a rotational seat, but you'd like the option to be able to fit 3 children next to each other at some point. A narrow car seat, one that's less than 17 inches, will enable you to do that. Now, not only that, but the way that this installs actually makes 3 across, I think, one of the easiest car seats to install for a 3 across installation. So, things that are exciting about it are going to be that it's a convertible seat. So it'll face backward initially from 4 to 50 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. And then for forward facing, you're going to be at 22 to 65 pounds. So this one doesn't turn into a booster seat. That's okay. The skinniness is going to sort of be the trade-off. The other thing about this guy, like our other one, is that this set of padding right here, the headpiece and this little body pillow, that's meant to be used in a rear-facing mode only for a really small kid, like a newborn, until they have head and neck control. That being said, something I did not touch on the other guy that I'm going to touch on this guy that they both have is they're both going to have, let me just take this off for you. If you look at the side of the seat, and I hope that the camera can get it, there's a little spectrum with a bubble that will need to be correctly positioned for the age and weight of your baby. So like, this is not installed right now, that's why there's pieces hanging all over the place, but my point here is that if you were to have it with a new baby, you would want the seat probably at its most reclined. There is a more upright position. That's going to be the orientation for children with head and neck control. For children without head and neck control, I'm just going to verify this on the side that's printed in English because that is my primary language. Yep. So for rear facing, you would want a deeper recline versus a more upright incline. Okay. That being said, the other special thing to know about this is if you want to spin it around full 360, it does need to be in its most reclined position. If you have it more upright, it'll still spin toward the door, so you're still going to be able to take your child in and out, but it won't go full 360 unless you utilize the recline. Then it'll recline back. The other thing about this guy, like the other Revolve, is going to be that it has a no rethread harness, meaning that we don't ever have to make manual adjustments to make this become taller. You're looking at an 18.5 inch of seated torso height, which is a lot. Again, most car seats only give you about 17, like Diono at its top slot is 17. Kleck at its top spot is 17. This is taller. So if they have a long body, this is going to be a nice option. Or if they're tall, it's a nice option. This one in rear facing mode holds 48 standing inches. Most of the 360 seats that are on the market will cut off at around 40 to 44 inches when the seat is in rear facing mode. So it may hold a high weight, but the body height that it cuts off it is short. So if you have a kid that's like in the upper percentiles of weight, they're theoretically going to be in the upper percentiles of height as well. So if we're looking at a seat to really fit them for the full duration of wanting to use it, getting one that will accommodate a larger body generally makes more sense. It's also more comfortable for the child. If I take out this body pillow, you'll be able to see a little bit more easily. Again, the head pillow would come out for a forward face, but this is what the seat is looking like. Now, it is narrow down here in the seat pan. You're looking at 10.25 inches wide of interior space. That is in alignment with like the Graco, gosh, what is it called? Slim 3LX or whatever the heck they call it. That's going to be a similar seat pan width. So again, with the narrow car seats, that is sort of what you're looking at in terms of width. Not on all of them, but for those two specifically, that's going to be like your width. Things about this guy that are pretty sweet. This is going to be a $349 price point. So 350 bucks. You get 2 cup holders. These also come out like so easily. I thought that was kind of cool. I just figured that out earlier. And then the other thing that's nice, like I said, who would this make sense for? Let's say you're a grandparent and you want to load the child in door facing because it might be too much work to turn and put them in attempting this direction. So now I'm doing everything and I'm getting them all tight and it's just kind of awkward. Additionally, lifting a heavy 2 or 3 year old up over a deep sidewall can be a lot of work. It's a really nice feature that the seat will turn to the door. Now it'll turn more easily when I actually install it properly, but that is just to give you a sense of what's going on with it. And additionally, goes forward. So if you're picking up 2 different size children, you have a 4-year-old for part of the day and then a 1-year-old for part of the day, one seat is going to take care of you unless they're in there simultaneously. But if you're trying to have one seat for a multitude of children, this could be a really good solution. If you're a nanny, a caregiver, an aunt, an uncle, someone that wants one thing that's like easy to manage, that will always work, this is a really good solution. Turning mechanism's easy. The removal, again, is easy. And this guy, like the other ones, has a base. Make it look so easy. No, there we go. You just have to line up again. This one, like the other guy that I showed, has an arrow, which will line up with an arrow on the base. There's 2 different spots for that in order for the seat to be able to be removed. The base, I don't know if you can see, but there's an arrow there, very simple. So first step for the installation of this guy is obviously removing the seat, and then you're gonna take the base, you're gonna hook up your top tether. This is a really important step. This is not a step that we wanna skip. So this will hook up any car 1999 and newer will have a top anchor. Finding it is sometimes the challenge. This demonstration has one in a spot that's basically on the floor, so pretty annoying, but still useful. Still appreciative for the seat, very much. That being said, so now it's hooked up there, but we've got to hook it up down here so it's not doing this. I'm going to use the seatbelt. This one comes with latches. The Extend, that is the Extend 360, comes with latches too. In all candor, the ones on the 360 Extend are a significantly higher quality latch. The latches here, I wouldn't mess with because they're the pinchy kind where you can sometimes hurt your fingers. The other style is like an ISOFIX, so much easier, or not ISOFIX, but like an IMI latch. I don't think it actually is, but it's a much easier latch to use. The latches here are horrible. Just not my favorite. Not an expensive piece, so again, higher likelihood of pinching fingers and just getting pinched. For me, seatbelt, that's what I would do. So you're gonna pinch the belt tensioner, which is this piece here. There's a squeeze handle in there to open it up. It says lock and unlocked. I don't know if you can see, but there's a red to green window in it that shows a picture of a lock, padlock, open and close, so it's very clear. But you're gonna take your seatbelt and run it through where you see blue. So this is just like the Evenflo Revolve, the old boy. It's like the new Evenflo Revolve, the new one, the Extend. This is most like Extend. Where it comes through, the belt is gonna sit under the little teeth, and you're gonna pull on the seatbelt in order to tighten it up. I will point out this is an entirely different base than the one that comes with any other model. The bases are specific to the seat. So I can't take a different model Revolve and put it on here unless it was a slim. So just something to be aware of. This is actually a slightly smaller, narrower base than the other one that we saw on the 360 Extend. But the part that's nice about here is you get the 50-pound rear facing and 65 forward facing. So if you don't care about booster and you like slender, this is awesome. Also, price point, $350. And, oof, I gotta wait for it to click. Okay, mine clicked, it didn't make a noise because I have it in here like within a millimeter of its life. This is incredibly tightly installed. I'm actually maybe gonna, here's a tip. Always start with unbuckling there. Never try and lift this when it's tight because otherwise you're gonna get it snapping in your face. Not really, but it would be kind of dramatic. Okay, so if I do this maybe not so tight, we might be able to hear that click sound a little more audibly. There we go. Still super tight. I just like it crazy tight because I'm crazy. That being said, we've got the top tether hooked up. We've got our belt hooked up. We need to do one more step, which is to lock off the belt. This is gonna pull all the way out. We'll let it retract back in. Wait for that ratcheting sound. You can double check by pulling on it to make sure it is locked off. So that's good to go. It's not gonna get caught on anything, so that's nice. And then now the seat will just drop directly in here when we line up the arrows. So, if you've ever seen me do my 3 across videos, I'm like sweating and panting and trying to move around big car seats. Imagine installing 3 bases and then just dropping the seats onto them. I couldn't think of anything better. Unfortunately, I think there is usually older kids that need different, even taller seats, so it isn't always the best solution for 3 of these across simultaneously. But again, I think it's awesome that there's an option that if you wanted a rotating car seat that was also narrow, that it now finally exists. Again, the other thing takes a long body rear facing up to 48 standing inches, and then the 50-pound rear facing weight capacity, 65-pound forward facing weight capacity, which is great, pretty typical. But you do get the longer torso harness height. Okay, so that's hooked in, spinning around, good to go. The other thing I love about this, I don't know if I mentioned it, this is the zip clean. So with this one for $350, there may be a cheaper version that doesn't have any zip. Again, why? Why? But your call. So I would probably do the zip. This is all removable, washable, super easy to clean. Again, there's a version of this that also comes with sensor safe that's a little bit more expensive. We would sell that as well if you really wanted it. But in general, the regular chest clip is pretty awesome just the way it is. That being said, drawbacks to this seat. One thing I would point out, I think people sometimes have a fantasy in their head if they have 3 rotating car seats that like they would be able to swivel them all, like to take the kids in and out. Something to be aware of is you need to have space next to the seat in order for it to swivel. I've in fact moved other seats out of the way in order to enable this to be able to be shown correctly. So if you're putting 3 adjacent, do I think that they're all gonna spin? No, probably not. But could there be some specific configuration where when you take your infant seat out, there would be enough space to spin this guy? Yeah, maybe. Again, I am not a wizard. I'm not gonna set it up in every conceivable possible thing. That would be like millions of combinations. So is it possible it could spin with other seats next to it? Sure, depending on how the seat is and what the situation is, it's possible. But I think, again, the bigger value of the spin is for when it's in a dual, meaning 1 or 2, versus a 3 across situation. So nice feature. Again, I think the bigger benefit for the 3 across is going to be that the installation is without the seat portion on it. So it's going to make it much easier for caregivers to actually put 3 immediately next to each other. Now, trying to think if there's anything else super critical to be aware of on this guy. The crotch piece, you're gonna want it to be as close to their butt, not under their butt. Once the child, I think, is past 40 or 45 pounds, you do need to move it to the most outboard position anyway. The kid would be so big at that point, it would be stunning if you were able to actually fit him in there with it even tighter. But again, I don't know what people do. So just things to be aware of. And yeah, it's kind of fast and dirty about the Evenflo 360 Revolve Slim. No rethread harness. 15 adjustable positions. Again, I don't care about the number of positions. I care more about the torso harness height. And again, it's going to be really nice and tall with this guy, longer than a standard car seat. And the price point really can't be beat, $350. So if you have follow-up questions or need to check out any of my other videos, feel free to do so. Please feel free to leave questions or comments or below. Please feel free to hit like and subscribe if this is worthwhile information for you. I have a ton of new videos coming out. I have so many new products from just coming back from the ABC show in Vegas. And more than happy to answer any questions or field any other questions or comments from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you at our next video. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.